Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations upon assuming the chair, and I look forward to continuing to work together with you to rebuild and improve our nation's infrastructure. Bottom line, there's no excuse for unnecessary bureaucratic delays, and we've got to look at ways to eliminate those sorts of things. I think the pilot program, which was extended to California and 2 other states, should be extended. The opportunity should be extended to all the states. Obviously, they have to develop a plan, a framework, and show that they will adequately and have the capability of complying with the overarching federal laws. But then the Department of Transportation moves into an oversight mode as opposed to a direct sort of command and control mode over the state's actions. I want to hear more about Section 6002 and whether or not we have fully utilized all of the flexibilities. I mean, these are only recent advent. The Bush administration refused to use any of the flexibility in 6002, and the Obama administration has apparently embraced them and made some progress in the last 2 years, but could more be done? And are there other ways to improve the process? I note that at one point one of the witnesses says how paperwork sits because the agencies which must participate in the decision, the other concurring agencies, are often understaffed, or transportation is a low priority with, say, Fish and Wildlife or somebody else. We've got to figure out ways to deal with that. I think Section 214 that we use for the Corps of Engineers would possibly deal with that, where you have a major project that a state wants to move forward, and you have to have the concurrence of these agencies, where, like we have with the Corps of Engineers, the authority could actually help to pay the costs for the Corps of Engineers in the case of 214, or in this case for Fish and Wildlife or other agencies which are understaffed or have other priorities to move the paperwork along. I just had an example last week in my office where there's a critical rail project in my district, a reopening of a rail line that had been closed by a hedge fund to a port in my district, needed substantial repair because it had been neglected by the hedge fund. In order to finish the repairs, we've got some federal money, but we couldn't get the federal agencies to sign off on the federal money. Fish and Wildlife, because some guy was on vacation from the Roseburg office and the paperwork had been sent down to sit on his desk. Just happened that the state director was in my office that day, the same day that the people from the Port of Coos Bay were in my office. I put the 2 of them together, and they immediately resolved the problem. It wasn't a question of waiving environmental laws or anything else that had been approved, but the bureaucracy was going to grind on for 4 or 6 weeks. So this guy came back from vacation, went through his inbox, and then decided to check the box and send it back to Portland, and then it got to the top of the pile there, and someone's going to check the box and then send it on, and then it gets to the Department of Transportation, and by then it might be too late. So that kind of stuff's just got to stop, and we've got to figure that out. We have proposed some ways to coordinate better these activities and have a lead agency and oversight to urge these folks on. Detailing people from agencies, again, they might have to be paid for by the sponsoring authority. But there are innovative ideas out there, and I want to hear them from the panel, and I'm very open to seeing them adopted. With that, thank you much, Mr. Chairman. I will be going to the floor, but I will be back. Thank you.
Thank you very much.